Hey, Andre, a new truck has been born.
Yes?
But there's a catch, and we'll get to that at the end of this video. But let's show them the new truck that has just been introduced.
Bam! What do you guys think?
The Kia
Wow.
Tasman, yeah. Yeah, that is
That's a
Bona's.
truck.
That's a truck, all right. What did you call it, a blind whale?
No, I called it a blind beluga.
Well, that's a whale, Andre. So in this video, we're going to talk about this new Kia Tasman.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, because we haven't seen it in person. We just seen it in pictures. And then we'll tell you the catch. So let's start by what's under the hood, Andre.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's Kia's first ever pickup truck. I mean, they have, utility vehicles, they have cars, they have electric vehicles. I mean, they have a plethora of things.
4-door and 2-door.
Yes, and long bed.
Nice.
But I think they're going for like utility here, right? I mean, they're going for utility. Under the hood is a choice of engines. So you can get a turbocharged 4-cylinder gasoline engine, or you can get a turbo diesel. You can get automatic or manual transmissions, and you can get a lot of utility. This page, we'll have it here at TFLtruck.com. And you see this, kind of dark areas over the wheel wells?
Yeah, they seem a little bloated for some reason.
They're storage boxes.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's cool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that is cool. So it's kind of like a Ram box, except not, the Ram box would be this.
Like in the top of the bed,
yeah,
yes.
and this is kind of more of a useful fender flare that serves as storage for, I don't know what, maybe a winch?
Maybe small things like gloves, ropes, tie downs.
Too small for a winch.
I don't think you can
Portable
put a winch up there.
Yeah, probably not. You could tow sideways, Andre.
You could. But what do you think about the overall style from the profile here?
It looks very, Kia and Hyundai have been pushing the envelope.
They're bold.
They're bold, it's different, and this is just a continuation of that. I mean, the back of it does look a little bit with those lights like a Gladiator. You can kind of see the Gladiator lights that are, stuck on the back of a Gladiator. But in general, I think, a blind beluga is harsh, but maybe not that. Oh, look at that.
Maybe I was too harsh.
Yeah,
I was too harsh.
That's kind of cool. It's
got a tray bed.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and they have different wheel styles.
Hey, go back. Would you kind of like the look of that head-on shot better than the side view? Because from the reason I say it looks blind is because in typical, Kia Hyundai fashion, the lights are right there instead of where you'd expect them, which would be right there, right? So it kind of gives you this.
Yeah, there's a lot of like metal and a lot of space, kind of in the center.
Yeah, a lot of nose. But it looks very off-road worthy. I mean, the approach angle looks good, the departure angle looks good. And let me see the interior, please.
And squarish mirrors remind me of a Jeep as well, right?
Yeah, I think somebody went to the design school of Jeep before they.
Whoa, look at the cup holders. This is really cool.
Yeah, that's also Jeep, dude. I think Jeep did that back in 1941.
Yeah, but you can see the dimensions of the truck right there.
On the very first Willys, or do you say Willis?
So it has it in meters and inches. So this is interesting. And 75 inches wide, 212 inches long, 75 inches tall.
Yeah, I think Chihuahua was charging there, I saw.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I like that color, that kind of sandy color. I'm a big sucker for that.
That's cool. You know what this reminds me of? Kind of this inlay? The Maverick. The Maverick also does kind of contrasting interior.
Before you go, this is important, right? You've got 2 high, 4 auto, that's cool.
That is cool.
4 high and 4 low. So,
yes.
You can just put an auto and not worry about it crabbing.
Ooh, look. Heated steering wheel, ventilated seat, heated seat, seat memory. This is luxurious.
There's a lot of luxury in this thing. We don't know pricing, do we? Oh, real buttons. I'm liking it more and more.
Yeah.
Except I do not like these haptic buttons. Sam, Andre, I do not like them at all.
Okay, but volume roller knob?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of roller knobs for volume.
Okay.
Just stick with a regular knob.
Oh, here it is. Here's a look at the interior. Their screens look standard Kia.
So this honeycomb, that's very Honda-ish, right? That's kind of the Honda's new design language. And then the rest of it, like you said, is very Kia. This is interesting, but it might be kind of hard on your elbow, right? Those
it's
grooves.
hard to tell how soft this is,
Yeah.
your center armrest.
And then, this looks pretty decipherable. Do you know what those two are? Can you zoom in? What do those two do? I'm guessing that's probably all, cruise control and
modes?
Autonomous.
Modes, maybe?
What are those modes?
I can't zoom in.
You can't zoom in.
Sorry.
Well,
we have a technical problem.
Yeah, we don't know it all. But in general, I would say the interior is more handsome than the exterior. I also like the grab handles on either side. I think that's a really useful thing, especially when you're off-roading. You know, I mean, look, let's say that this was here in America instead of the Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Because, you know, I said, but at the beginning
There's a
of this,
catch.
at the beginning of
There's
this
a
video,
catch.
and that is that this was just unveiled in Jeddah.
Yeah, in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And we know it's launching in South Korea. We know it's coming to Australia and
Africa.
Africa and Middle East areas. So it's not meant to come here to the United States. Maybe
But-
yet.
But let's go back to the first picture. As much as I like the Santa Cruz, and I say that because, of course, Hyundai and Kia are brother sister companies, right? They're
Same
one
company.
company with two brands, right? I would be happier if this were here than the Santa Cruz. Not that I don't like the Santa Cruz, but this to me feels much more truck-like, whereas the Santa Cruz, you know, that's for a buyer who wants a lifestyle vehicle, who, you know, maybe is looking for a crossover, but they don't necessarily, you know, want to have the same thing the neighbor has. This, on the other hand, it's a big boy truck.
I love this. Well, we haven't seen it in person, like you said, but it looks to be body on frame. There's a solid rear axle.
Look at
let's
those tires.
let's look at some specs,
Right, off.
because our producer Zach actually did a lot of homework here.
Do we
right?
know? Do we know the transmission?
Well, let's look at the specs. Yeah. We can look at towing because there's a lot of it. A lot of towing, a lot of payload, a lot of power.
Okay.
220 volt bed outlets. Dude, I mean,
that's the latest and greatest.
that's cool. Let me see. Let me get. So first of all, towing. Let's kind of go in order. 7,716 pounds, which is 3.5 tons, right? So that's more towing than the Chevy Colorado. That's more towing than the Toyota Tacoma. That's more towing than
I wonder if that
most
de-
mid-size
I wonder if
trucks.
that depends on the powertrain. It must. That must be maximum. You know? Maybe
It
not.
might.
Yeah. Okay. How about
Look at the
payload?
payload.
Dang.
Holy cow. That's more than our Ram 2500, my friend.
That is heavy-duty truck territory.
Yes.
I know. That's
But you know, this number is typical for overseas vehicles because they don't have full-size trucks. So a lot of their smaller trucks, they actually put heavy springs on to kind of carry more payload because they don't have the luxury of having F-150s.
or they don't have the Society of Automotive Engineers standards that we have.
I think they have other societies.
They probably do. But I'm saying that number may change in America if it ever comes here.
It could.
Yeah.
But the 2.5-liter turbo engine is there, and they've used it in everything from, you know, Santa Fe's, Santa Cruz's, everything. 277 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, which are good power numbers.
And it's got the 8-speed automatic as well, which you can get in the Santa Cruz if you get the smaller engine.
Except in our market, we also have the dual clutch transmission, remember?
Right, that's
Yeah.
the one that is not good.
That's
off-road.
not great.
And by the way, guys, I was talking about the Society of Automotive Engineers because they established the standards for payload and for towing numbers, as you know.
Yeah, and testing procedures.
Exactly,
And,
yeah.
everything. You know, and SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, is also expanding globally. So, I mean, they may have some shared standards here.
Oh, we got locking diffs, I just saw.
Locking rear diff.
Yeah.
So, Roman, I agree with you. If this came here instead of the Santa Cruz, it's larger, it's more capable, it's off-road worthy. I mean, it has ground clearance, potential diesel engine. The diesel probably will never come here, right? To the United States because that's very difficult.
You know what's a head scratcher, Andre?
What?
This has always bothered me, and maybe you guys are smarter than I am and you can figure this out. Ford will yell at anybody who's listening, right, that the F-150 or the F-Series is the best-selling vehicle in America, period.
Yes.
And of course, it's a pickup. They're all pickups. They sell over, what, 600,000 annually?
Well, F-Series sells like 700,000 recently.
So like
yeah.
one every 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
It's a huge number. And yet, many manufacturers, when they come here, don't bring or don't put their best truck foot forward, right?
For example, Tesla didn't come out with a truck.
That's an
first.
American company.
Lucid never came out with a pickup truck.
Yeah, the only one that kind of blew the doors off of people's was the Rivian, because
Yeah.
that was unveiled as a truck. But let's talk about non-electric vehicles, right? All the traditional brands. I was talking to the fine folks at Toyota and Lexus, and I said to them, take the Tundra or Tacoma and make it into a Lexus, and it will become your best-selling vehicle like that. And yet somehow
didn't listen.
They don't.
No.
They don't understand, and it doesn't seem to be that hard to understand that Americans love pickup trucks, and yet, you know, the Asian manufacturers, and I'm talking here about Kia and Hyundai, you know, give us a lifestyle truck and then save the truckie truck, you know, for other markets. So that's kind of my rant.
There is another catch. In order to sell a truck here, it has to be built in North America. So even though they probably have factories around the world, in order to bring this...
Yeah, or Mexico or Canada, right? You said
yes,
North America.
Yeah. So you could build it in Mexico, you can build it in Canada, you can build it in the US, but they're kind of maxed out here, right? If you look at all of their factories, they might be maxed out. So, and it's a new chassis too.
But look, Volvo and Hyundai and Kia, they're bending over backwards to build electric vehicles here.
But they should be building
They
this.
should be bending over backwards.
For this.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or maybe the answer is the market here in the truck world is so competitive because the other thing is it's so profitable that it takes, you know, a lot to play. In that.
Toyota is very bullish. You
Yes.
know, they have the Tacoma, the bestseller in the midsize segment. This would be fighting against it, right? Ford Ranger is getting better and better and selling better and better now. GM is there, you know, Jeep, Honda, everybody's here.
Anyway, let us know in the comments below what you think. Is this a truck that you'd be willing to look at? I'm guessing it's about a mid-size truck.
Yeah,
Size,
and
yeah.
it's a little bit shorter than a Tacoma.
Okay.
So it is a mid-size truck.
It's basically.
By the way,
mid-size
that's a
truck.
drive mode button.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
hey, you have drive modes.
There we go. We figured it out.
I just squinted and really looked at it.
And as always, head on over to alltfl.com for what, Andre?
News, views, and real-world debuts. And let us know what you think about the style. of
Kia,
this.
bring it. We will buy it. See you guys next time. Ciao.